Greetings and salutations, Earthlings. I'm in Colorado, and I actually just cleaned like all of my decks. I rearranged my decks on my desk. No, actually, I'm trying to figure out. So I drove this time. So I brought all of my tarot and oracle decks from Texas to Colorado. And I want to divvy everything up so that I could leave some here and just carry like a core of cards with me when I fly. Do you know I had my stuff searched one time because I did carry on, and they had no idea why I had a bunch of decks in my carry-on luggage. But anyway, so I'm just sitting around playing with my decks, and I wanted to do a reading for you. This will be general. I kind of feel like this is going to be just a general, like, what's going on in the world. And I actually don't know the answer to that question. I stopped watching the news after I got out of rehab, and they told me that watching the news could make my PTSD and my anxiety worse. And so I figure Facebook kind of tells me if something's really going on. So I did hear about the shooting in Colorado Springs. So you do hear about stuff even if you don't watch the news. And that is very sad. I do not know the details. But I also have this weird thing. Maybe I'm going to just pull cards and bullshit. But I have this like concept that we're not supposed to know all of the shit that we know because it's really distressing, like back in the day before social media, you didn't know what was going on every fucking where. And I also remember when my life was like going down the toilet bowl, I would watch YouTube videos about really sad shit and like going on in the world. It was like children dying in Syria. And I would be like, well, why even bother? Jordan Peterson talks about this a little bit. Like, why even bother? And so what I was doing is I was not fixing my own life because the world sucked. It gave me a good excuse to not, work on my own shit, was to point out shit going on in the other with billions of people. Oh, see, do you see how that works? So I don't borrow trouble from the outside world. Having said that, I was sad to hear about the shooting in Colorado Springs. So yes, I do allow some news to get in, but there is a reason I don't watch that much news. I'm not changing the world that way. That's some people's thing. It's not my thing. So there you go. Or that's just how I fucking shirk responsibility. I don't know, but I'm doing all right. And I got some bullshit going on in my life, and I'm being happy through it. So there goes that. Oh, look. Some candle wax fell. Does that mean something? I don't know. Let me think about it. All right. Who do I want to play with? I haven't done this one in a while. So what's going on in the world? And I'm asking this in a spiritual sense, lifey kind of way. What do you got for us, God? I'm not going to do my usual layout. Oh, whoa. Oh, interesting. I want to pull 3, so I'll get to the other ones. One more. Ace of Cups. So this came out first. 8 of Swords. 8 of Swords is stuck in your head. This has been like thematic. It can be kind of victim mentality, feeling like there's no way out, being in a situation that you know you got yourself into. And so there can be a level of guilt in that. And then interestingly, we got the Temperance card. And I love that I picked this deck because he has on headphones and the Temperance card is balance. He's totally vibing, like listening to music. He's in his head, but it's a pleasant place to be. So that's why I'm like, it's cool that these 2 cards. So maybe this is either or, maybe you're here. You should try to be a little more here. I'm really trying to not use the word try. You need to be here. You need to practice being here, at least, even if it's temporarily. You got Temperance. So there's clearly times when we're going to struggle, when we're going to go, fuck, I did this to myself. There's no way out, but there's no way out from that position. So the story behind this card is that she is blindfolded, and she believes that she cannot get out from in between all of those swords, that she's trapped. But if she reached up and took her blindfold off, she would be able to work to navigate her way out, right? So, and then the Ace of Cups is overflowing with emotion. That's usually a good card. It's new beginning, new love. The start of a relationship, the start of a business or project that really speaks to us on an emotional level. So, and I'm kind of doing these all evenly, right? So I asked God, what's going on in the world? We have this, we're feeling stuck. That makes sense, stuck in our heads. But listen to the music. I really love this Temperance card. Balance. The Temperance card is balance. So we are going to struggle, but be in the struggle and then come back to balance. And then there's an outpouring of love. There's opportunities for new beginnings. We can offer love to others. Let's get an advice card. Not fell out. Death. We'll do one more. Letting things die. Letting things end. Tower. Jesus. No fucking way. Look. Death and tower. Power is things with a faulty foundation crumbling. These cards are similar because they both indicate endings. The death card is a known ending, right? It's usually something that we're aware of in our lives that is dying. The Tower card can be a shock, right? It's something it's a building coming down, like there was a crack in the foundation or something in the building. It's very like Plutonian kind of Pluto, but everything comes crashing down, but it's because it needs to be rebuilt without the faulty foundations that it was originally built on. The Tower card is experienced differently by people, depending on like your level of attachment and non-attachment to things or situations. People who have a spiritual practice and who actually make an effort not to be so attached to situations like relationships and jobs and all of that, will see the opportunity in a Tower card, even though it's shocking still. Sometimes the Tower card can be exciting, but the people who are operating more like unconsciously or still very much triggered by, you know, external belongings and like, and the, if like having this outside world needs to be perfect in order to feel okay on the inside, and that's okay if that's where you are. It just might mean you haven't lost a lot of shit up until now, you know? And there's nothing wrong with that. Like I've just lost a lot of stuff. And so spiritually, I had to come to a place where I can integrate that into being okay with me and where I'm at, even if the outside isn't exactly what I want it to look like. So inexperienced coming to the Tower card, sometimes it can strike fear in people. Let me do one of these. Clarity. Okay. These are silly cards. We have an orange feeling itself. Stopping to listen to my inner self, I can easily separate my intuition from my mental chatter. The clarity of my intuition is a sweet, simple fruit that tastes familiar, and the mental chatter is a confusing, bitter rind that I shall peel off and chuck into the garbage or a compost heap if your mental chatter happens to be organic. That's making me think of this. We ask for clarity, right? You know, in here, we're in our head, we're hearing all of like the cacophony, that's the word that just came to my mind, of thoughts. The good ones, the bad ones, our ego, you know, our spirit or intuition or whatever you want to call it. Everything is all jumbled up, and usually the ego and the negative thoughts are louder than the other thoughts. And this clarity card is just reminding you to, like, you need to quiet down, maybe listen to a guided meditation, or give your mind like some space in between the chatter, because even if we are struggling, at least there's a balance or like a pause, a deep breath. When we're taking a deep breath, that kind of stops our mind from moving around so much. And remember that intuition comes up when we're quieter, and this clarity and unpeeling things. Like there is a way out of this feeling of being trapped that we're in, right? And it could just be letting things die, letting things go, letting things fall. If we're because there's a new beginning that wants to happen. There's a new beginning of something that is meaningful to us emotionally. stuck on my bell bottoms. Yeah. Do a Monology card. Focus on the positive. New moon in Sagittarius. Stop, because the new moon in Sagittarius is coming up on November 23rd. Hold on, I can tell you exactly. Yeah, but the new moon in Sagittarius is coming up and Jupiter is about to turn direct. Jupiter rules Sagittarius. So and there are going to be like, we are coming to a new beginning, and this new moon does feel good. Some of the new and full moons have been a little rough. We just came out of eclipse season. The past month has probably been a little chaotic. The South Node is in Scorpio. So we're like releasing, we've been like digging in our bullshit. Like we've been really, really getting acquainted with our bullshit, whether we wanted to or not. And that could be this too, like, fuck. I think, maybe there's like guilt or shame or, something like that we're kind of, trying to shake off. Maybe it's our image that we need to shake off. Like, this guy doesn't even care. I have a story that I love that I'm going to tell about my ex-husband, but he was the DJ. He was a DJ when we were in our 20s, and he used to DJ at parties. And I thought it was so cool because he's not like, parties weren't really like his most favorite thing, but he would always DJ. So it was cool and people wanted to talk to him, but he just got to listen to his music and like rock out. And I'm like, wow, that's pretty brilliant. Like, you get to go to a party and not have to deal with anybody. But still have a good time, and people would still come up and talk to you. And that's this guy. He's like, you know what? I'm just going to focus on mixing these things together that I can mix together, see how I can get them to work, but he's not doing it in a controlling way. It's like in an uncontrolled way. Like when you're doing something musical like that, why am I going off on this tangent? But whatever, I'm going to go with it. Like an artist, you're feeling, you're like, it's coming to you through that. That's what it is. It's coming to you through your heart, not through your head. Yes. Yes. Her head is talking to her heart, right? I'm just coming up with this. This is not like a standard meaning of the tarot card. And his heart is speaking to his head, so and this is a new beginning connected to our heart. So what are we letting go? What's the death in the tower about? The world. Fuck what the world thinks. Turn off the fucking news. And I don't mean to be insensitive when I say that. Like, and if somebody wants to take it as being insensitive, that's okay. But I was in a mental hospital wanting to commit suicide because I thought the world was such a horrible place, right? And we see how well that worked out. Can I personally do anything from my depressive state in my bedroom for children in Syria? I cannot, right? I can go out into the world and make it a better place. And I'm just saying, I feel like if more people did that, the world would then be a better place. And when you saw things in front of you that were not okay, you could do something about the thing in front of you that's not okay. Like, Why'd that come out? Anyway, but whether the world also might be other people, other people in your circle, maybe you've got a little rebellious thing, or you're afraid of what other people are going to think of you or what the world thinks you should do. Let's do some of these. Opportunity. You will prove yourself and discover if you brave the rough seas. Opportunity. That's this Ace of Cups. There are new opportunities. Maybe we're just not seeing them because we're not taking the blindfold off, or we think they're impossible, or we doubt ourselves, or focus on the positive. Like, think about positive changes that have happened in your life. Think about your positive attributes. Direction. Trust your inner compass and find your bearings. It's almost like, okay, right? This might be for some of you. It's almost like there's something that is just done. Like we know it's done. And when we don't let go of things, that's why spirit brings us the fucking tower moment. If we're trying to like keep up an image, for some reason I'm getting image vibes from this. Like, well, or maybe we just want to be a whole new way, maybe maybe we've had a realization, clarity, but we're talking ourselves out of it, like some new way that we want to be. Direction, opportunity. There is a way out. There is a way out if you're feeling stuck. This was the very first card to come out. It was the very first card to come out. And then the Temperance card came out, but it fell on the floor and I had to stop and bend over and pick it up. And so they came out together, but the Temperance one was on the floor. So you might be ignoring the fact that you can do something, even if it's listening to music. I always fight with my husband, Zeke, that listening to music and cleaning the house is not the same as meditating. But then I'm like, what do I fucking care? Like how he does his thing. I'm the big person who's like, I don't care what you do, sit and contemplate, whatever, sit and draw. Just I think there's an importance for there being quiet in the mind, but this is how my guides talk to me, because obviously he's my husband. So it's like I go right back to fucking ego, man, so quick with shit with him, because that's what, that's why we love each other. We show each other that stuff, and it's an opportunity to work on it. But I got fired up when you said that was his meditation. And I could feel it coming up in me. It was like, that's not meditation. And then, I have this pause now. The pause is a regular thing for me. Like I stop before I react to things. And then this little quiet voice in my head goes, what do you care? That was my guides, or, whatever you want to call it. My intuition, my inner self, my higher self. I call it my guides. Everybody's different, but what do you care? And I was like, wow, I really like, what do I care? Well, I care because I meditate, and that makes me different and important, and it's hard, right? I'm being really vulnerable here. I don't know if you got anything out of that. You probably deserve a medal also, but I'm going to get going and I'm going to post this up. I hope you have a great day on earth. Peace. Namaste. If you want a reading, my information is down below. I've been forgetting to say that. Bye.